you have to have a time in your life where trading is everything. Now, everyone who's preaching, oh, you just have to spend 30 minutes. No. If you see someone who's well off, if they're showing you their Lamborghinis and their Bugattis, when you look at these gurus, you're gonna think that he's better than you. Selling that sort of dream, I think, is every chart that I open up, I can spot all of the patterns. I can spot if it's an uptrend, if it's a downtrend, if it's ranging. Now I'm at that level. Now, for someone who's starting, you need to...
Hi, Planty here again at Alpha Capital Group with another trader interview, and I can tell you for sure this is one of the most engaging ones you'll see. This guy can really communicate and it's going to be lots of fun. So Mo Kilani, welcome.
Awesome. Thank you, Planty. Thank you for having me.
Already, just from brief chats we've had, I know this is going to be fantastic. I just love you to start at the beginning of your journey because it sounds so amazing.
Yeah, so beginning of my journey, I was doing accounting and finance in Coventry University. I've done that for a year. Basically did not really enjoy the atmosphere in Coventry. It was kind of a dull city.
Coventry or the university or both?
No, Coventry as a city, not the university. The university was great.
You've heard of that saying, haven't you? That if you do wrong, you'll get sent to Coventry.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. So what I actually did was transfer my credits, whatever I've completed in that first year, to the University of Texas at San Antonio. So when I went there, it was a beautiful, campus, the university life that everyone looks after, like that wants to enjoy or wants to experience. That's what I had in Texas, San Antonio. Now, when I was there, I was basically doing a degree in finance. And what happened was, as a student, you're pretty much broke most of the time. You don't have a lot of money or a lot of room to enjoy your life. And I was not going to depend on my parents to support me. Before I was a university student, I was a DJ in Qatar. And I've made a lot of money from that. So I reached to a point where I was the second best DJ in Qatar. And that generated a lot of...
Let's just literally rewind the deck here.
Okay.
So let's go even further back before Coventry. What's your background?
Where are you from? First. I'm from Jordan. Basically, my father works in the oil and gas industry, so we had to travel around quite a lot when we were young.
You're already used to getting the passport prints.
Yeah, everywhere. So we went to the United Arab Emirates, and then we went to Qatar. In Qatar, before I was, while I was still a high school student, I picked up a hobby of just DJing at home, and then I built that further to actually take it into events.
Wow.
To a point where
What sort of age was this?
I was 15, 16 at the time. So I became so good at it to a point where every house party that was happening there,
it's the Mo Show.
It was pretty much Mo Kilani there. And the thing is about Qatar, it's a Muslim country. So you have to respect their traditions and values. So most of these parties that were happening were underground parties, where when the police comes in, everyone's just evacuating the place. So
what a shame that you've missed out on being there for the World Cup then. You could have absolutely not. Or were you? Is that another story?
The World Cup, I basically did not go there, but I had a lot of opportunities to go there. At the time, I was more focused on my work.
Sure.
Now, with that whole experience in Qatar, I got to a point where I was making a lot of money. I was booked for every day of the week. My father did not like that because my father is a traditional person. He's like, you have to go get a degree, find a good wife. Exactly. Do not follow your dreams in a sense. But he was so supportive to the sense where he was like, whatever you want to do, I support you, but I don't want to see my son a DJ at 50 years old. I want to see you with a degree.
Like me, wouldn't it?
So, everyone in my family, they're basically doctors, engineers, and I'm the only person who was like, I'm going for finance. So they didn't like that. They wanted me to be a doctor, an engineer. Moving the story forward,
but I just
Coventry,
wanted to get that in that. That's been brilliant.
Back into San Antonio, Texas, beautiful city, amazing people there. Had a really lovely experience, but then I was thinking of ways to make money as a student in order to enjoy that, student life. Came across trading, and I basically signed up with Forex.com. It's a broker. Basically, you can only trade in America. You can only trade Forex pairs. You can't as CFDs. You can't really trade gold, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, all these sort of things. Because of the Dodd-Frank Act that happened in 2008,
Yes,
a lot of
that's-
companies moved overseas.
to protect it all.
Exactly, to protect most of US investors. So, as a person who does not have a lot of money, I was looking for a broker that will facilitate my needs, that will give me that high leverage.
It's a lot of requirements here. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was looking at all these offshore brokers. Now, just going back a bit in my story, when I traded with Forex.com, my first trade made me a lot of money. That gave me a lot of confidence. My second trade was on euro dollar again.
When you first got into trading, then what did you actually do? What made you go for that?
So I used the tuition fees that I was supposed to pay for the whole year.
So you put up your tuition fees to trade with.
Exactly. And it was a high risk decision. Now, after that first trade that I had where I made 7,000, something like that, I felt like I owned the whole world.
Yeah.
Honestly, I felt like I'm the new Warren Buffett, the upcoming Warren Buffett in trading and investing. And I started planning how the parties are going to be, how I'm going to decorate my room, thinking about, that
What
sort
could
of
go wrong?
perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next day, going on euro dollar again, I was thinking it's my favorite pair. And did the same thing again. Actually went full margin. I didn't know what was margin, nothing. I just knew that you can click buy or sell. I would see something going down and I would just instantly start buying it. When I see something going up, I would start instantly selling it. Because I remembered the quote, like, you buy low and sell high. And that was literally what I was doing on the 1 minute time frame as well, which was even a more dangerous scenario for a newbie, like literally no knowledge whatsoever. So I got lucky with that first 7,000. The next day, I wiped off all of my tuition fees. Now, the university is calling me, Mo, we need you to pay for your tuition. And I'm thinking, there's no tuition. And if I call my father to tell him, hey, mate, I lost my tuition fees in trading, my father's going to book a ticket and actually come and kill me. So I ended up taking a student loan. Student loans in America are very well known all over the world, how expensive they are and how interest rate on these student loans.
What years was this?
2017.
Right, okay.
Interest rates on these student loans, it's just unbelievably expensive. Like my rate was like 20% on a big number. So yeah, that is my own misery. Like
Sure.
Going through it.
You're going to be stuck with this forever.
Yeah. Is it not stuck with it? Actually, trading is one of the reasons that helped me actually pay off a lot of it.
Oh, sure, but I'm saying the psychology of you've just blown
Yes,
up. And
the psychology of it. I was down. I was looking for jobs on campus. I was looking for jobs anywhere in order to just make any extra money. So any extra money that I would get in the month, I was still passionate about trading. I was thinking, all right, even if I have $100 extra, I'm going to deposit that and try to make something out of it. And that's when I was looking at these high leverage brokers that are offshore.
Yeah.
To trade
And
gold.
you're doing finance at this point, and you're thinking, I've heard about these.
Actually, when you study finance, they don't really teach you how to trade.
No.
They teach you how to build a portfolio in stocks. They teach you how to read balance sheets, income statements, analyze the performance of a company, do regression analysis, statistical analysis, these sort of things.
A lot of it
They don't really teach you how to trade. So I was experiencing trading and experiencing the university life at the same time. As a broke student, literally, if I get a beer from someone has to invite me for it. I was like that broke.
We're not going to be in trouble for saying you're drinking, are we? It's all right.
Maybe cut that off. Yeah. So moving forward, how far you come in life. Graduated. I was so happy and pleased with myself. I moved to Massachusetts.
And had you made the money back by now?
No.
No, so
I was still in debt, massive debt. So graduated, moved to Massachusetts, to Boston, lived there for 3 years. I worked in an insurance company, and I made actually massive sales in the first couple months. They paid me a lot of commissions. It was like commissions that I've never seen in my entire career.
Wow.
As a
But
fresh
you
graduate.
had to graft for that.
Yeah. So I got paid around 35 grand, something like that. COVID-19 happened. Everyone got fired. including myself. Now, unemployment rate at that time went to 25% in the US. Every job that I was applying for, they're like, oh, sorry, we're hiring Americans before we hire any British citizens. Americans are going to have the priority. I'm like, I'm just going to keep applying, not going to give up. Kept applying for jobs, not finding anyone that will take me. At the time, I started reading books about trading. Naked Forex helped me out a lot.
Right.
With understanding different patterns, stuff like that. So I'm more of a reversal kind of trader. Like look for reversal patterns, and that book with the candlestick behaviors, all that sort of stuff, no indicators whatsoever, helped me out a lot with trading on different time
That's all right,
frames.
because a lot of people tend to say they'll use the candlesticks last, won't they? So beyond their indicators.
Yeah.
But you still believe in all that. You do it. You use it up front.
Yes. I really enjoy just looking purely at price action. And then now I have like a set of criteria. Obviously, as I develop, I have a set of criteria before I open any trade. And I have to be very quick because I like to look at the 1 minute, the 5 minute time frame. That's where I usually do my execution. Now, before we talk about my trading itself, living in Massachusetts at a time of COVID-19, I basically deposited a lot of money into trading, and I was testing out everything. I never tested on demo accounts, by the way.
Oh,
I was
really?
always a
Straight in there.
live account type of trader, always using my personal funds. Losing all of my personal funds, no problem.
Done it before.
Work hard, deposit again, learn again, and that was my learning experience. A lot of people go through demo accounts, and they build themselves out from there. I was not that type of a trader. Just always using my personal capital whenever I have access to it. I got bored from staying unemployed. I'm a person who's always active, so I was doing my exercising every day. There's the social distancing. It was hell,
Must have
honestly.
been.
Like I was
And
disappointed.
were you literally on your own, or do you have a partner or
I was
family?
with a partner at the time. Yeah. So moving forward, I was like, you know what? I can't handle this. I need to move back to the UK. My brother was in London, so I was like, hey, can I crash at your place until I find a job back home? Obviously, here in the US, they're saying American citizens first. In the UK, it's gonna be British citizens first.
Please.
So I want to come back. So I moved in literally 1 week later. I was in the UK. Crashed at his place, stayed there for a couple months. And I was applying everywhere in the UK as well. Unemployment was skyrocketing. No one was hiring. Found a job in Sheffield.
Hey!
Yeah.
If you don't know,
Yeah.
you should do by now. I'm from Sheffield, so this is going to be fun.
Yeah. Sheffield was a brilliant experience.
Right.
I accepted a job outside of my knowledge, outside of where I'm competent. And it was literally a call center job, minimum wage.
Right.
I just accepted it. I needed a job.
You get your mind going. You're an
Yeah.
active person, aren't you, like you said?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I was doing overnight. I was doing sometimes overnight shifts, overtime, just to make up for my boredom. Basically did call center job representing the Economist magazine. So I would call a lot of Economist members, subscriptions and stuff like that. And I started reading the Economist quite a lot. It's a very good magazine to read. There's a lot of insights and knowledge within it.
Well, it's like on my shows and stuff, people asking what's a good way of getting into fundamentals, and I said, find
Economist.
yourself a good periodical.
Bloomberg.
Read
sign up
just read
for,
the articles and then ask questions. You start to see how people talk, and if you go on LinkedIn, you can follow people.
Absolutely.
You've got access to so much knowledge these days that used to be behind a paywall. It's just fantastic.
A lot of people think fundamentals are just when it comes to fundamentals, they just think I need to read an article. Fundamentals is so much more than that. When it comes to fundamentals, you need to look at commitment of traders
Yeah.
data.
We
What
literally talk about
commercials,
that.
non-commercials are doing.
We just literally on Friday, the first time in months, the S&P 500 massive commitment long.
Exactly.
Which you've been watching 3 weeks of deep sell-offs, and if you go to the equal weight, it just started turning
Absolutely.
on Friday, and on the back of that, it's like that is rotation. The big boys might be selling off, but these are clues that are all there if you're
Someone
willing
is
to
coming
do the
back in
reading.
to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you've got seasonality. plays a big role. Currently, we're in election seasons, so you've got the US election coming at the end of the year. You've got multiple elections all over the world. So you've got geopolitical tensions, what happened between Israel and Hamas, what happened between Israel and Iran. So you've got a lot of tension around the world. You've got the Russia-Ukraine situation. You've got China and Taiwan. There's something brewing in
It's
a
all
sense.
there, isn't it? There's definitely something going on
Now-
in our favourite world of gold and crypto, isn't there?
No,
As a result,
now obviously when it comes to all of that narrative happening, that presents opportunity. Obviously, loss of life is not an opportunity. I want
Sure.
peace all over the world,
But you can't- but you're
for a
not-
trader,
you're there to react, not to
exactly, you react to whatever the charts are giving you and providing you as information, and you just execute based on that. Because at the end of the day, these times of uncertainty present the biggest opportunities of our lifetimes. So seasonality, commitment of traders, reading articles, understanding the data from these central banks, what do they represent, interest rates, inflation, unemployment, that sort of stuff will give you an understanding of where the market could be heading, maybe in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even a month time. Fundamentals don't usually play out instantly. You have to be patient for a good entry.
This is right. I mean, they do support swing traders a little bit more, but it is
Yes.
useful sometimes in the shorter time frames. But
Yeah.
having spent 30 odd years in the markets, I've lived through the hatred between the two camps.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to find that common ground. And this kind of challenge prop environment, as you allude to, them people like yourselves,
Yeah.
they realise that there's more of a combination effect to it. Where are those order blocks coming from? The changes in trend, that has to be from the real money reacting and reversing that trend.
That's
and you need to know
absolutely
the
true.
fundamentals that drive that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. So fast forwarding to being in Sheffield, worked on that. Country started opening up finally. I was like, you know what? I need to find my passion. I need to work in the industry that I'm interested in and passionate about. So I basically worked with two different brokers, two different educational,
Right.
educational
Is
trading
it- is
companies.
moving back to London to do this?
Yes.
Right.
So I moved instantly back to London, worked with Capital.com, a very well-known broker. They're regulated all over the world. Then worked with Capital Index, then worked with Land to Trade, then
Do you write
launched
articles for them? Do you write articles for Capital?
for Capital.com. I did not write articles. However, the
You seem to have
CEO there
appeared
is a
on
very
there.
nice guy. His name is Tariq Shabab. I remember he told me to focus on sales, but at the same time, start doing the market analyst stuff. So I would write some articles on LinkedIn at the time. Focused more on trading and developing my knowledge there and executing my trades on a daily basis. Than actually focusing on writing articles. So I was just using my mental capacity for other things. than
Just
focus-
soaking it all up.
Yeah, exactly. Then worked with another broker, then moved to their educational side of company, then launched a prop firm for them, ran the operations, ran everything for them, hired their support team, trained their support
Wow.
team. Then they basically wanted to change some of the rules of their challenges. So I resigned and was like, you know what, I'm going to take a step back, focus on myself as a
Is
trader.
that a precursor to what you're seeing now with
Yeah.
the sort of scamming ideas and people always being traded against when they're doing well?
I mean, you're seeing a lot of companies going down. That's because they don't own their tech, they don't have their own infrastructure, they don't have their own broker. You've got a lot of people literally just, popping up overnight.
Yeah.
And the next day they run 50% discounts and 60% discounts.
Alarm
A lot of
bells.
people buy in and then they run out the next day. Run away with your money. I've traded with other companies. There's a company called, what was it called? Global Traders Funding. They still owe me the payout. If you guys are watching, you owe me my payout.
Send it, carry
So
us.
make sure that you pay me. Anyway, found Alpha. Started off with them on a bad note.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know about this. Go on.
Yeah, I'll tell you the story. So with Alpha, we basically, what happened? So when I was employed, I usually find sometimes opportunities towards the end of the day, and there's always an opportunity on Dow Jones and Nasdaq from
15.
8:30 p.m.
Yeah.
to like 9:15. There's something that's gonna happen. There's a
There's loads
spike
orders
of
that get left
volatility.
in the system.
Exactly.
It's, yeah.
Now I'm going to work, coming back on the train, reaching home, my time to find the opportunity. Bought an account with Alpha Capital. At that time, platform cut out. So obviously you guys don't have that issue anymore. But at the time, that is what happened. So I reached out to support on Discord. No one responded to me. Closed my ticket. Basically, the next day I went like 10 lots, 10 lots, 10 lots, 10 lots, 10 lots on a yen pair. And I just blew up the account, went online, wrote a bad review. And then next day I'm at work. A weird number's calling me. This is Alex.
The Geordie voice.
Yeah. Alex called me. The level of professionalism that I've seen from this guy is something that I've not seen anywhere else in the industry. Literally, he explained to me why that happened, the reasoning why it happens with Alpha, and how they are working on a fix. And then he was like, I'm going to give you a free challenge. You don't have to remove the review. Keep it out there. But I just want you to try us out again. And actually give me your honest opinion, because we're out there trying to always improve and innovate and develop our product. So I appreciate good and bad reviews, and we actually learn from them. So the way he expressed himself, the way he was there for me, the way he helped me out, it's like, you know what? Like, I've never experienced this, even with brokers. Like, you don't see that. Instantly went off, removed my review, and just wrote a review for Alex alone, not Alpha. I was like, I received a call from I received a call from Alex. He was an amazing person, very genuine. I'm gonna give these guys another shot. And ever since, I fell in love with you guys. Like literally, the trading conditions, the no commissions, the other companies. $8, $7, $5, hindering your progress.
Which I've not been able to understand coming in why people vote to go for commissions. It's a fixed cost you don't need.
Yeah, exactly.
Go limited trading.
I mean, you get a little higher spread. I mean,
it's
not even a little high. Like it's amazing spreads. If you compare it to any broker out there, you're literally getting a bang on it, like a banger. Like it's an amazing deal there. So basically, I started trading with Alpha, made multiple payouts processed same day. Like I would send my request 3 hours later. The money's in my bank. I was thinking this is faster than a broker. Like with other brokers, trading with your personal money, sometimes you have to wait 24, 48, 72 hours, 2 weeks in some instances. So I'm like, these guys at Alpha literally just paid me out thousands of dollars within 2-3 hours. The next payout, I was like, oh, maybe because it's my first payout. Next payout, same thing. Third payout, same thing.
Wow.
I'm like, these guys are amazing. Conditions, amazing. MT5, now you're in an industry where no one has MT5. Alpha has their own infrastructure, their own broker, longevity, sustainability, and you guys deserve that. So
you're not being paid for this, by the way.
Oh, I'm not paid. I'm not sponsored. I'm just giving my honest opinion.
Brilliant.
Like literally,
really appreciate it.
So if anything, I honestly, when I fail a challenge, I'm not like a trading guru that does not fail challenges. Obviously, we all have failures and setbacks.
It's part of learning.
It's
surely.
part of life.
Yeah.
Now, when I think about all of that, all of these losses from the tuition fees to now, this is what built me up as a person.
Well, all these interviews I've done, it's a predominant feature. Nobody walks into it instant winner, and a lot of them burn through lots of accounts to learn.
Yes.
Like I say, it's a process.
I burnt through, not so much at the beginning, but then as I started progressing and I started taking challenges from multiple companies, yes, I burnt through a good amount of accounts. But overall, I'm profitable because I can follow my system. Now, sometimes you're out of sync with the markets, and that is fine. You may take, it depends on also your risk parameters. I'm more of an aggressive trader, higher risk type of guy. So
are you trading just one instrument, is it?
I trade gold mainly.
Gold, yeah.
Yen,
That's it.
pound yen is my nemesis in a sense. Yeah, I lose a lot on it. I've been selling it for a really long time, always trying to catch that move. Bank of Japan intervention,
Please.
They've bothered us with it. Bank of Japan's going to intervene, and then you're looking at their interest rates, and they raise it by 0.01. I'm like,
Which
you
wasn't
serious?
Even,
15 years it's been negative, and now you raise it to this amount.
It's not even that. He's a complete academic. Couldn't follow through with and we're going to do it again. So all he had to say was, we will do it again.
Oh, the 155 level, dollar yen. Be on the lookout. Come on, 152 level, 150. Oh, it keeps going higher. Now, everyone is anticipating that drop from Bank of Japan intervention. Every intervention that happened before has been a dip buying opportunity for a massive move higher.
Big moves, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So why would I wait for something based on hypotheticals or just people in central banks talking about them wanting to do that thing, but in reality they don't follow through with it.
That's it.
And you've got people just selling based on emotions and what they read. So you have to wait for your criteria, your system to show itself to you, and then you're like, you know what? Maybe I've got an opportunity here.
But often that gives you the retest entry, doesn't it? So
Exactly. Yeah. Retest, confirmation, break of structure, retest, nice reversal candle, take it down. But just wait for them to intervene, and then you get that 300-400 pips all of a sudden. You might be in the market or you might be out of the market. So there's no guarantee that you're going to catch that. You might waste a lot of
But
challenges.
you're ready for it, and you may not.
Yeah.
You won't be positioned. the
And
wrong
you
way.
might waste a lot of challenges, a lot of money just selling yen pairs, anticipating that move lower, and it just never happens. And it goes 300, 400, 500 pips higher, and then it happens. But how many challenges are you willing to lose just selling yen pairs before you actually understand?
With the old
Yeah.
Einstein doing the same thing
Yeah.
and expecting a different outcome.
Yeah. You need. For me, I need the higher time frames to give me a direction, and then on the smaller time frames, the higher time frames dictate the direction. Smaller time frame dictate the
Entries. Or
entries. Kind of, you get some sort of pullbacks. Based on these pullbacks, I get a reversal pattern, double bottoms, head and shoulders, stuff like that. Based on these patterns, the traditional patterns that people traded back in the day.
yeah, I just listening to some of the guys talking. It was refreshing to hear people describe SMC back as being head and shoulders. Like, good.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was. It's like, yeah, please.
And
old-
some of
old
these
school
patterns
language.
don't work nowadays.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you're trading a specific pattern with your strategy, with a set of criteria, say you've got moving averages, confirmations, you've got a specific reversal candle that you look for, you've got a specific pattern that you look for, and then you've got the higher time frame confirmation, so the correlation with these higher time frames, then you can basically execute with confidence, obviously with a stop loss and a take profit. Some people don't want a stop loss. By any means, you do you. But a stop loss is out there to protect you.
It's all about changing the probabilities in your favour. And
Yes.
the stop loss not having a stop loss doesn't necessarily help you,
Exactly.
but it might sit with your psyche.
Yeah.
And that's something I'd like to hear from you about your psyche and psychology, given how you built yourself up. You started with losses, or started with wins and losses.
Yeah.
And how do you trade psychologically? Because anybody should be looking and be out there, get their own formula, their own strategy indicators. It's then you, isn't it? It's you against you.
Exactly.
How do you manage that?
Now that mindset of psychology, I've hosted psychology sessions globally for different brokers, clients, colleagues, and I'm very big on psychology because it basically it helps you understand your own character before you understand anyone
Not just
else.
in terms of finance, but
No.
just in general.
Exactly. Who you are as a person. Now, who you are as a person can always change from time to time. Obviously, you want to change to the better and not become worse.
Yeah.
But if you're aware of all of your problems and how you've built your character, you can find tweaks here and there within yourself that you can change. Sometimes the little changes make the biggest differences. So I was a person that couldn't sleep well at night.
That's DJing.
Yeah. I now sleep at like 9:30, 10 p.m. and I wake up at 4 a.m. Now, that mindset in itself...
That's discipline, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. It makes me think that first thing I do in the morning, I start my day with a prayer. I do meditation to clear up my mind, clear up my thoughts. And I just jump onto the computer, start reading the news, do any analysis, look at the Asian market. I usually like to see consolidation, the
Do you
Asian
trade
market.
the Asian market, or are you just there for observation?
Just observation. London session opens up. Potentially there can be a potential trade. Then you've got the New York session that opened when the New York session
That in
opens
itself
up.
to me is interesting because that's 3 hours of prep, isn't it? Really, that's
Yes.
good. That's
But within that 3 hours, I'm not just sitting behind the screen for 3 hours. So I look for 30 minutes, go out, do my gym, swim, sauna, steam, eat a healthy breakfast, come
good
back.
to hear it because that's the balance that you need, isn't it? You've
Exactly.
got to get those in every day.
Trading is not just looking at the screen and just look.
You do a lot of thinking sat on the row machine or.
I'll tell you
treadmill or
something.
whatever.
You have to have a time in your life where trading is everything. Now, everyone who's preaching, oh, you just have to spend 30 minutes. No, I spent 24 hours looking at every 1 minute candle without sleep back in the day. I would literally just be looking. My eyes will be red. My partner would be like, hey, just go to sleep. It's enough. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Put it
get this
down.
thing done. Yeah,
But that is the proper ingraining, and
Exactly.
this is a study, isn't it? It's a study that you'd be doing or should be given if you're doing trading finance.
absolutely. And I would be looking at every pattern, every chart, everything, taking notes, reading books. Everything literally adds up. Now, I'm at a level right now that I don't need every chart that I open up. I can spot all of the patterns. I can spot if it's an uptrend, if it's a downtrend, if it's ranging. Now I'm at that level. Now, for someone who's starting, you need to go through these pains. Because if you don't go through pains, you know, the success is tasteless. If you just suddenly become a successful person, you might lose it very quickly.
Well, literally by the nature of financial markets.
Yeah.
They're a sentiment engine. They move in
Exactly.
patterns. You know, you're not always going to be on the right side of it, are you? By definition.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when you take a loss, this is not taking a loss. This is a learning experience. A lot of people think, like, for example, there are specific words that we use in our daily life that have negative connotation to your day-to-day stuff. If I say loss, your mind instantly picks up on loss. But if I say learning experience, your mind instantly thinks about progression further, and this is a learning experience,
Like that.
right? It's approaching it from a negative mindset or a positive mindset. I would take positive mindset anytime, any day, any
It's what
year.
they say about teaching children, that you say something negative and they won't respond. But if you encourage them into it,
Exactly.
they will.
Exactly. If I say fail, then I'm gonna think fail. If I say setback, and I'm gonna, you know, success. If I preview my failures as my pathway to success, then I will always see any opportunity that happens in my life or anything that goes in my life. It's just an opportunity for me to grow further. Because the universe or God is preparing you for something bigger. If you don't go through these failures, then you're not going to understand. You're not going to know. You're not going to progress. You're not going to grow. It's just going to be rinse and repeat over and over, and you keep doing the same thing over and over. Now, I have a journal that I've built myself. I've coded
I was
myself
just about
in
to ask you
Excel.
about that. It sounds
Yeah.
like to make a journey like that, there must be a
Yeah, I can show.
background to it.
I can show that to you. I'll
Yeah.
send it. I'll send it to
I'd
your
love
email. I've built my own performance tracker in it. All the assets that I trade. It's pretty similar to the one that Alpha has, but I've done it all in Excel.
Right.
So I've just coded the whole thing on Excel.
And I was saying to someone the other day, do you actually go back and look at that? And if you're in a struggling period, do you go back and try and find a period when you were doing well? And
Yes. Every challenge that I lose, I have to go back to all of these trades. Even the ones that I think, okay, this was a gamble. I don't know why did I enter here. You just go back and you look at it and you're thinking, oh, it just didn't make sense. There was no opportunity. Even my
there might be
pattern was
something
not
going
clear.
on, yeah.
Exactly. It might be something in my psyche, right? It might be my psychology is not there in the right place at that right moment. So I just forced a trade. Now, you coming to terms with these sort of things, understanding that these are all learning curves and you always come out on the other side stronger, will give you that positive mindset. Now, with psychology, you need to understand impulse control. You need to understand your cognitive bias, which is availability bias, overconfidence bias,
the old confirmation bias. isn't it?
confirmation bias, all
Which
these
again
sort of
is the
things.
problem I think people have with data and the fundamentals. They're looking for something to tell them that they're right, rather than actually that's telling you
yeah,
it's no
confirmation
longer
bias,
it's
101,
no longer valid.
absolutely.
We need to look at something else.
Or for example, you
And
do
that is,
your
I thought you were bullish. Yeah, I was, but that's changed.
yeah, you do your analysis.
Yeah, and the analysis has changed.
Exactly.
I've got to react. Otherwise,
Why?
you're just going to walk into a loss for no reason.
Have you ever found yourself doing your analysis, going on TradingView, and then going to the ideas and checking every single idea if it aligns with yours? If you're doing that, that's confirmation bias.
Exactly.
That is confusing yourself. That is confusing your whole trading system. Do not do anything. Just follow your bias, follow your gut. At the end of the day, you're trading for yourself. If you're following some
You've got to own it,
guru,
haven't you?
if you're following some guru and that guru is giving you some trades, yeah, what if that guru died? God forbid, obviously I'm not like...
Or he goes rogue.
Yeah, like he got a stroke all of a sudden,
Yeah.
lost everything. Like, what are you going to do? You need to learn that skill for yourself, because when you have that skill, no one takes it away from you. We're seeing now in industry, in the prop firm industry, you've seen a lot of big players going under. If you have that skill, you can take it with your personal capital and carry on. Nothing will stop you.
So you started off with personal capital. You've gone into this challenge environment.
And now personal
Are you a mixture now?
Yeah, now the two. just doing personal capital, doing prop firm, the prop firm capital. My goal is to get to a point where I can have, sufficient data for a really long time. So my goal this year is not to go for like the 7 million funded, whatever, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I want to get to a point where I can, even if I make 1%, 2% every single month, I'm fine with that, as long as I have an equity curve that goes up and I can build that up in one account for many years. That will be my accomplishment. Because every time I get to a point where I'm hyped up, I'm up 10%, 15%, only to blow it up. Imagine you're up like 15, 20 grand on your account, and then that greed. You need to control your fear and greed. That's another psychology stuff.
Massively.
We're all, human nature is to be greedy. Human nature is to be fearful. Your mind basically has that thing of, survival instinct.
Fight or flight idea, yeah.
I want to basically protect this person. And then you go into that survival instinct and you're fearful of any trade. You have loss aversion. After a streak of some losses, you don't want to accept a loss. And then you keep just letting your losses run. You cut your wins short. And you have to understand to find a balance in between these sort of things. Availability bias, another thing. Now you've got people talking about the markets on TV. You've got websites. You've got the Telegram signal channels. You've got so many. You've got access to information all over the world. Literally, information now travels faster than money in the world that we live in. Obviously, with crypto, it's
crazy. I know. I'll talk about something, and then I'm not saying that they're following me, but you'll see that things have suddenly appear again 2 hours later, repackaged. It's a bit weird that came out in that way, and it literally there's algos picking it up, aren't there? There's the chatbots are just regurgitating it. It's
absolutely.
It's just a mental world. Was that? Did you do that before me? I thought I'd seen that over there from someone in the industry. Where have you got that from? So,
I'll tell you something about availability bias. Now, if you see someone who's well off, doing so much better than you financially in this world, they're showing you their Lamborghinis and their Bugattis and all of that stuff. You're instantly gonna think that this person is better than me, right? As a trader who's not making wealth, trading is not serving him well at the moment. When you look at these gurus, you're gonna think that he's better than me, instantly. His signals are probably better. So you go sign up with his group. Now you're giving him your money. First of all, that's like one wrong thing. Second, you might have your own trading analysis, and then anytime your analysis does not align with his, you're going to take his approach over yours, because that guy has the Lamborghini, has the mansion, has the private jet, is traveling every single day, is living the life that you really want to reach to. Yeah. Now, that's selling that sort of dream really, I think, is the setback for most traders out there.
Yeah.
Because traders are not depending on themselves and depending on someone else. And then when they take a loss from that person's trade, that person potentially can handle it. But if you take a loss with your personal capital, trading his idea, you might not be able to handle it with your money. Right? And then instead of blaming yourself, you start blaming that person. Now, every mistake that I make, I blame myself. There's no one else to blame. Yeah. I'm wrong. I messed up. I over-leveraged. I over-margined.
I think that's the number one rule you've got to get to succeed, isn't it?
Exactly.
You've got to be yourself.
If you're wrong, you're wrong. You just got to accept it and move on. Learn from it and move on. Journal it. My journal is basically emotions before the trade, emotions while trading, emotions after the trade, and the reason for entry. And then I put a screenshot there. Bias, buy or sell. So everything is journaled. So as I'm going on with executing that trading idea, I understand why I'm doing it. I'm giving myself the reasoning.
And then it's worthwhile, isn't it?
If there's a justification to open a trade, then open the trade. If you can't justify opening a trade, don't. Even if you're finding ways to justify it. Some people, they will find ways. Oh, but yeah, I can see a bullish engulfing candle. So what? You can see a bearish engulfing candle rightly after.
Everywhere,
yeah. So best thing you can do for yourself is take it easy. Understand the differences between trading, investing. Investing is a whole different game. I'm invested heavily in crypto as well. Diversified.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that with everything you talked about everything that's going on in the world.
You want to know a funny story about greed?
Go on then.
Shiba Inu. Heard of it? When Shiba Inu basically donated half of their supply to Vitalik Buterin, and was like, I don't want it, and then he donated all of it to like good causes around the world. Price plummeted. Now, when the price was plummeting, I was buying the whole time. How I was buying that plummet? I was at the time in Sheffield working a minimum wage job, and my whole paycheck
I was going into that.
was going there. All of it. I was living off of beans and bread. I hated, like now I hate beans. I can't eat it.
It's like that's good, yeah.
I'm done with it.
Just the sight of it.
Yeah, but I was doing it for a bigger cause. So, I started basically just every paycheck put it into Shiba. Every paycheck put it into Shiba. So I was at a point where I had a billion 100 million tokens, because their supply is like something astronomical. It's like 580 trillion.
Doesn't that kind of defeat the object of what a crypto is supposed to be?
In a sense, yeah. But I was thinking, okay, it's a hype token, all that stuff. All of a sudden, one day, Elon Musk posts a very nice Shiba Inu dog. And I go in my portfolio, I'm getting all these notifications on Binance, before they got banned in the UK, that Shiba Inu's up like 300%. So I was looking at my money. I had like $11,000 invested, but it was like literally 10x'd very quickly. The next day, it went even higher and higher and higher. At some point, my portfolio was around 360,000. I was
different kind of beans.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's not going to be beans anymore. It's going to be steaks every night. So I basically was thinking.
Did you cash in?
No. Oh. Here's the thing. I started reading articles, availability bias, confirmation bias. Everyone was talking about that 1 cent mark. I was thinking, if it goes to 1 cent, I could potentially become worth like 20 million. It's worth to actually wait for the 20 million. Based on my, I was a trader at the time. I was seeing reversal signals everywhere. But I had a sense of belief. I got married to it. That sense of belief system is very dangerous, because sometimes you find yourself married to a trade and you don't want to close it, even though you're seeing every sign to exit, but you're just married to it. And the same thing happened with Shiba. Obviously, I'm diversified now. I learned my mistake. That was a very learning.
Is this what you called Luna? Was it, or was that a different story?
No, Luna. That was a different one by Dokwan, the owner. All of a sudden, overnight, just plummeted, went to zero, and then it became Luna Classic. It's like, come on, bro! Like, you're coming for another round. It's honestly similar to what's happening. I don't want to call names. It's okay if I say names.
Yeah, of course.
Like TFT, like his company collapsed. A lot of traders did not get paid out, and now he's coming again for another round. Like, come on, bro, just shut down.
Yeah. We were chatting earlier about.
Get out.
I haven't got my money, but I've been given a coupon.
Yeah, like a coupon. Oh, what am I gonna do with that coupon? Please. I had a funded account, and now you're giving me a coupon to start from phase 1.
Does it come on a roll?
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, sometimes you do mistakes. You own up. You tell people exactly what happened with your company, and you leave on good notice.
Sure.
But you can't let your clients hang in there and give them fake promises. And this guy's going to get paid out. And this guy who did not request his payout, his payout is gone. But here's a coupon, mate. Like, come on. This is not how you do business. That's why, for me, when I think about this industry, there's literally a handful of companies that you can choose from nowadays. The rest is like, in my opinion, they're going to fall one day or the other.
And
Alpha, my top option, always,
there you go.
Literally.
But is there anything that highlights to you a scam? And obviously the high payouts and stuff like that. Is there anything that really sets the alarm bells going off for you?
Yeah, if a company starts off with some rules, a month later, like say a company launched today, they're giving you the best rules. You're like, holy moly, I would love to be a trader there. Then a month later, they change up all of their rules all of a sudden. They're sending out emails and they're talking about sustainability and all that stuff. Yeah, just be careful. Because it means that they've done something wrong, or they're seeing a pattern that they don't like, and then they blame it on sustainability and longevity. But in reality, it could be just lack of funds. So be careful out there. There are companies that have launched with their rules and only made things better, only innovated. I mean, think of the dashboard of Alpha before, or the website before and the website now.
Yeah, and it's-
The dashboard before and the dashboard now. The different challenges that you can choose from. Some other companies are also innovating in the same perspective. They own their tech,
it's
they
the-
own
it's
their
the right-
brokers.
it's the right
Exactly.
direction.
And it creates a healthy competition. But yeah, like for me, like when I lose my funded accounts with Alpha, I instantly think I have to buy more.
What a great attitude.
Yeah, it's like that's my number one choice. I've got MT5, my favorite platform. Obviously, C Trader is really good. You guys have both for the people who want, you know, whichever
choice,
But MT5 will always like win, in my personal opinion. You've got a few other companies that offer that, like FTMO. E8 Markets as well is another good company. I think funding pips potentially bringing that back. They're talking about it. I don't know, but I think, you know,
It's a trend that we talk about, and Alpha are at the forefront.
but Alpha's never had it down.
Exactly.
That's the thing, and that differentiates you from other competitors. Every other company had to kind of hold their businesses for like a couple weeks, and then go and find you Match Trader. Have you tried Match Trader?
No, but
Look, I'm not gonna say bad things about it. It's all right for someone who's a beginner or a new person to the industry. But anyone who's telling you, "Oh, Match Trader is better than MT5," I'm sorry. Let's have a trading competition. Yeah.
and you're still waiting for the
Yeah,
film.
and then you keep getting all these error messages, liquidity not enough,
Yeah.
and unable to close your position. Like, come on.
Anyway, that's
Yeah.
very illuminating. What I'd like to know is go back to the beginning and the family and everyone. You're almost like the black sheep because you're not a doctor and all that sort of stuff. Have you been taken back into the flock, as it were? Do they appreciate what you're doing now?
I do appreciate where I've come. How
Does the family
how far I've
Does the
come.
family is the family okay with it now?
My family are proud of me. Whatever I
Brilliant.
choose to do, they're always supportive of me. They're always back there, like, you know, making prayers for me, supporting me with their words, telling me that they're always proud of me, whichever path that I choose, because they've seen what I can do for myself. Now, at first, obviously, every parent is scared for his child. They want the best for them.
Sure.
And I would want the same. I want the best school for my child. I want the best education. I want them to get the best degree. I want them to be well off, even far, you know, after I'm gone. I want my children to be set for success. Now, looking back at things, I can see how my parents want the same thing for me. And I really look at it from a perspective of, you know what? I love them more than anything in this world. They're like literally the biggest blessing that I have. And if I can go back in time, I would not change a thing.
Brilliant.
Literally. Because all these fallbacks, all these failures, all these setbacks are the reason why I am the trader that I am today, are the reason why I keep trying, are the reason why I never give up. I have a competitive mindset, and it's always pushing myself to different boundaries. Never stop learning, always stay humble, always stay a student. Even if you become the Warren Buffett of trading, always think that the market is going to humble you.
Absolutely.
And
It's
you're always going to be a student
I
in
always
it.
say it's a fickle beast. Yeah.
But yeah, they're proud of me, mate. I'm very happy about how they support me every day. Very happy for the people who are in my life. Very happy for everything how life has been unfolding. You know, sometimes when you fall, it's just your opportunity to have a breakthrough in life.
Absolutely. So I'm going to wind us up there because I'd like to say to you all out there, if you've had a bad day or a bad month trading and Mo here hasn't inspired you to get back on the journey and do the work and carry on and it's all going to come good, I don't know what will. So Mo, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Really brilliant interview.
Appreciate you.
Thanks,
Thank
mate.
you. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you.